So I was trying to hook up the yard stream. I did. But the problem is, you see, I'm in a shed that's detached from the house. And so I have the Wi-Fi in the house. And when I have an extender plugged in out in the shed, it says I have 4 bars. But technically it's lying because I don't get the production of, it doesn't produce 4 bars worth. So when I did that yard stream, it said it only had like 1 bar. I went to Walmart and I bought a 75-foot cord that goes from the router into my shed, plugged into the extension. So when I did that, well, then my internet didn't work at all. So that was worthless, pointless, and okay. So the question is, if anybody knows, can I just buy another router and have it connected 75 feet away from the house, and then put the router inside of my shed and then connect to it that way? Is that how that's going to have to work? Because the other way just didn't work at all. And the reason being is because I just want to start having people just show up, like hop over. I can do with the yard stream, I can do where multiple people can be on at once, or just one person, but do it live where I have these special guests come on the show, and it's just even the Pharisees. Like, I don't even care to have Pharisees on my channel, and that way they can be real. You can explain the Word of God the way that you do, and then you can stick with the law and the old, the literal interpretation, everything. And because they're doctors of the law, they might make me look stupid, but I don't care, because I willingly admit that the Bible, I don't know all the stories, and I'm not familiar with them. But when I read it, I tend to understand what I'm reading in a spiritual sense, because I'll take it the literal term and the spiritual term. But because I know that there are people that they have people come on their show, and it's all about their show. It's all about their way, and they have their notes and stuff, and certain people have guests come on, and you read your script, and you have this script here. But the way that I want to do it is, when you want to show up, because if I'm doing it live, here's how my platform, here's how I want it to be. Like, let's say SJD would be one of the top guests, because we communicated before, face to face, not publicly, just Skype, I think it was, or yeah, I think so. And but he did all the talking, and the first Adam and the last and all that stuff. But I think it would be fun. I think it would be a fun show, because it's not something that I've ever done. And like, I've done a live stream where I had Whoopsie Doodle, she called in, but that's not good enough. I want people's faces to be where I can plant you right on my screen, as you're live. We're live, and then you can read the comments. You can answer the comments, or you can just hop on and talk about whatever you want to talk about. And it would be, I would have people come on that I know. I'm not gonna have some, well, I mean, it all depends on what you're gonna say. But it would be live, and it would be unscripted, and it would be something that whatever is on your mind, there's no pressure, there's no time limit, there's nothing that has any, like when you just show up, if you forget what you're going to talk about, all right, well, so what? Just then sit there quietly until you can figure out what you want to say. And maybe I'll plug somebody else in while you forget what you're talking about, and then have somebody else pop in, or I'll just read the comments. In other words, it's a completely unpressured, unscripted reality. And it goes back to the people that I was communicating with from the very beginning, like 3 years ago. I think it would be hilarious to have Steve on there, and it just with whatever he, the Bulgardash nonsense that he talks about, all those lies and everything. He can explain the Hero Camping ordeal, how he came to my channel purposely he made a video about Hero Camping. He commented, if he never deleted all of his comments, well, now I don't even know if I had the videos, but you can go back to the video, and you'll be able to find it, and he hasn't, and then you'll be able to see the comment there that he started to talk about Hero Camping. He did a gematria thing about him, like telling me to check it out, and then when I clicked on it and I checked it out, oh my God, he became my best friend. He knew that that's exactly how he was going to reel me into, by using Hero Camping, talking all kinds of good stuff about him, and then I got on his side. Because the way people were talking about Hero Camping, with him warning everybody, and by me following him, knowing that the guy is just one of those sincere guys that are telling you the truth. He's telling you his understanding of it, and his spiritual understanding of it was higher than anybody's I've ever known. So I paid attention to him, and I learned a lot from him. And then Steve came up and started the show Hero Camping, and to me it was such a relief that somebody is somebody even knows who I'm talking about, and they're sticking up for him. I need to stay in contact with you. So the psyche is, SJD knew that. He knew that, and that's one of those things where there's people on this planet that can really foresee what is going to happen in the future by understanding the human psychology alone. But I forget who I came in contact with first. Well, no, it was Scotty Alpine. That was the first agent sent in my direction, and because he got my phone number, but I didn't give it to him. He got it from the listing of how he gets it. So I didn't appreciate that, and then he was calling me a true prophet, and I think you're a true prophet, and then when I told him to stop calling me because I'm not your buddy, nah man, false prophet, liar, and all that stuff. And then I think Steve came in my direction. I remember somebody was commenting to me. They were in Florida. I forget the name of it. It could have been Mark Mod 18, another account, but him at first. And yeah, I respected the fact that the guy was talking. This was in the beginning when I was first getting comments. because at first nobody was commenting, and then I see these channels like, man, all these comments, this guy's talking about, how do you get all those people to talk? And then it got to the point where, man, I can't shut you guys up. I got to stop the comment section when I stuck up for SJD. So it would be a good thing to go back from the beginning where it started. And this time around, I have full knowledge of who these people are. Everybody is. Behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, around the scenes. And I've been tricked. I've been deceived. I've been played. People have laughed at me. They've watched me behind the scenes. They've surveilled me day in and day out. I always knew I was being watched when I was a kid, from the time I can remember thinking. Something is watching me. And I kind of went about my business as sometimes knowing that even as a 7-year-old kid walking in the streets, just, by myself, I always felt like there was just eyes somewhere watching. And it's true. But this time around, I'm going into it where I got the 3.5 and some change years under my belt, almost 4 years of experience of knowing zero about the planet, and then thinking that I know more about the planet in the end, which is now, and then the people in charge. Like, at least, if nothing else, I found some people that are high up in the food chain. I found some people who they're able to call the shots in certain areas of the realm. And when it comes to Gematria, the book of Gematrix.com, well, that's SJD's. That's his ordeal. And it's the book that I believe it was created back in 2011. Right, Steve? 2011. The beginning, the year of the awakening. And Steve tried to tell Harold Camping he's 10 years off, but yeah, he wasn't trying to hear, and neither was I. Not that I even knew you, but I didn't even know YouTube until 2013 when my son made the account for me, August 24, 2013. And I learned how to make fiberglass hoods, because that was the whole purpose of signing up to having a channel. And I wound up making a couple hoods. I wound up selling them, opened an eBay store, sold one in Canada, sold one in Texas, and it was working. And then this happened. And then shortly thereafter, Steve appeared. So I'm going to go back from the beginning. Not of my life, but my YouTube life. Because what I'm attempting to do is, it's just simply, I just need I need a good internet connection. And then I'll figure out how it works. Or I think with the Yard stream, can you do this with YouTube as well? Can you just do a live stream and then have like a link that somebody clicks on, and they click on it and then they appear on your screen? Because I want to do that. Because it's no pressure. It's a way of, because I've always been, I've never been a good communicator with people my entire life because of the social anxiety. But that social anxiety is diminished, because all it is the social anxiety, all that is this. Your first initial injected thought is something that's a negative feeling, and you will contemplate that negative feeling, which gives you feelings throughout your body and your stomach. And when you dwell on an insecurity, because really having social anxiety, it means you also have insecurities, because you're just insecure about your own self. It's a negative self-image that first initial injected thought is implanted into your brain. and it gives you these feelings. But then when you sever the feeling and shut it off, you understand that in this world, it truly is just you by yourself. That's it. All this time of worrying about what people think and say and do, for instance, on YouTube, these 4 years, doing videos before pushing record, being influenced by what people have said in certain videos beforehand, or what they've said in comments about myself, and throwing doubt and negative energy my way. What I've learned is to shut that up. Shut up. Because it's a transferred spirit. Negative comments, even positive ones, but I'm focusing here on the negative because that's what you got to defeat in order to get to the positive. The negative comments, the negative people, the negative videos, that when they were coming at me, not just bombarding me with video, there were so many videos made about me being a false prophet, liar, robotoid, everything, that I wish I would have watched them before and saved them. But I didn't think it would happen like this, where I'd come back and then want to see all of the videos about it and just laugh at it. But at the time it wasn't so funny. So the first initial injected thought is your enemy, until you realize it really is just you and whatever you think. That's it. Because after the 4 years, everything I've ever thought that was negative, well, today is March 8th, 2021, 7:49 a.m. And I feel fine, and I'm untouched, I'm unharmed. Matter of fact, I'm better than I've ever been in my life, mentally and physically. Just being able to do the fast and enjoying it while I'm doing it for the right reasons. Being able to conquer your first thought. Because your first thought, when you dwell on it, it can ruin your entire day. You can worry about stuff for nothing, and it's completely pointless. But then when you realize that in this world, like this whole system, the whole setup, when you really understand that everything that you think is happening with people, everything you think that people are doing and saying, and it comes down to what is it that you are doing and saying in your life that helps or worsens your path moving forward. And so I can see how, like, when people think and say that there is no God, it's because the ones that are in higher positions, they have a spirit. They're awakened spiritually, but they also know good and evil. But they know that, they've gotten away with so much stuff before, and God hasn't done anything. Nothing. So therefore, they know that you're all alone in this world when it comes down to it. But God does do stuff. Because what he does is he creates, and he's patient and long-suffering, and he waits, and he allows people to exercise their free will all the way to the very end. And that's why the God of peace and the God of destruction, they're in the world, the spirits are running through people. The God of destruction is the one that has control of the planet, the one that has the ability to push buttons, the one that can smash anything and anybody, including myself, in a split second. I could disappear like this if that God wanted me to. So the God of peace will, after the whole thing comes to an end and the pride is exercised fully, that's the God that learns what the God of peace is, and how, no matter how much power you have, this is the amazing part of how this thing works. No matter how much physical power somebody has, the armies that they have, the entire planet, they have everything at the fingertips. No matter how many people you have and how much control you have, you'll find out how the God of peace cast out that first initial injected thought that you've been running with your entire life. That thought, the impulse thought, that as soon as you think it, it's like, yeah, that's it, that's me, I thought that, that's me, I'm thinking that. No, you're not, dummy. That's your enemy thinking for you, and you're just letting him run your life. When you finally realize that's true, then you're able to live a more peaceful life, because your first thoughts don't torment you anymore. And even if they try to get injected into you, you know who it is. No, see, nope, beat it. I've heard that before. Basically, it's like a conversation with yourself. You're battling yourself. You're fighting off your own enemy inside of you. When you do that, you can finally just be yourself and relax. So, having a live hop-in type of show that's the direction I want to go. And I need to get better internet connection, because I don't want to have to like pick my computer up and go inside of the house when my sanctuary is outside. It's set up there. And then whatever, because I've had anxiety even talking to people on YouTube before, because I'm really not used to like communicating with strangers. And then, what are you really talking about anyway? But now, since I've grown up and it's just different, well, it's like it's no big deal, because what are you worried about? The only thing that I'd be worried about is what are you thinking? Well, whatever you're thinking is on you. What I think is on me. And even if you know what I'm thinking, so what? If you don't know what I'm thinking, all right, well, then I'm trying to get you to know what I'm thinking. Like, I'm not hiding my thoughts, in case people haven't understood. These are my thoughts. They're constant. That's why the button's pushed. And that's why 33 minutes goes by and I upload my brain to the computer, and then now I become attached to AI. Just like when I make a video of myself and Ruben and Henry. When I make a video of myself, it's just me. When I make a video of Ruben, after I made my video, upload myself to the computer, I look like I'm in the computer. But when I record another video and it's just me, it's me and it's Henry over there, I'm standing out as like, I'm still not completely in the computer yet, but then when I upload that video, now it's like embedded, because you can tell the difference. And then when I do a third person, the third person looks more live and then recording, and then when I upload the third part, then it's like they get injected into the screen and they blend in better. So I've always tried to get people to understand what I'm thinking, while most are trying to prevent you from what they're thinking. They try to hide what they're thinking, but their emotions show what they're thinking. Their eyes show you. Their words show you. Their symbols, their signs, their movements, their all that stuff. But then there's also, I found out that there's decoy signs as well. Like, once you find, here's the thing I learned. When I first started communicating with demons, I'm thinking, oh wow, this is cool. I'm communicating with people that you're not supposed to know. Like, other people aren't supposed to know you're communicating. So when it started with Click, it was like that. But I didn't realize at the time that, well, no, whether there's two of them or not, there's definitely two inside of one. There's two mentalities inside of one. But I thought, well, just communicating alone is whatever I'm receiving is true. Like whatever I'm receiving on the other end, knowing the communication is there, speaking in tongues, it's true. And then I realized, no, wait, once they get you to communicate with them, and then they're going to try to play around with your mind. So it's not true, it's actually a lie. But how did they know that I was going to talk to them and understand what they're saying? But then how did they know that they were going to talk to me and then communicate? But then how did they know that they were going to play me as well and drift me off by communicating that way? The whole thing is so insane, but it's true. It's the way it is. And then I realized how the planet is being ran. It's being ran by a couple different people, like 3 different gods. But who would have ever thought that you would hop on YouTube and you would find out the people that run the planet? I've always thought when I was a kid, when I could first start thinking, I'm like, I remember 7 years old living in Fishtown, Port Richmond, Salmon Street, from 7 to 9. I remember thinking about money and about we had food stamps, and my mom had like the book of food stamps, and you go take, rip like the $5 bill out or take the dollar bill and go buy a nickel piece of gum so we can get 95 cents and change to play the video games. And I just wondered, like, how does this system work? Like, there's got to be somebody that started this whole thing where, what if the money, what if people just didn't have jobs and there's no money flowing? And then what if the world was like dark and there was nothing in it, and it's just nobody was born, and I'm just looking in darkness, all these thoughts popping in your head, wondering how the system started. Well, I had questions 38 years ago, and they're being answered now. So it took a little bit. It took a little while for these questions I had to be answered. But that's the direction I want to go, is have special guests just show up. What do you want me to show up for? It doesn't matter. What are you doing? What are you doing other than that? Do you like to talk a lot? Well, then you probably won't have any problem talking about whatever. Oh, that's a hurt piece. Smashed door. But again, some people might talk a lot, but when the camera's on, it's different because something's staring at you. Just pretend it's not staring at you. Who cares? Just pretend it's who cares? See, when you're camera shy, or when that AI device still gives you a awkward feeling, it's because there's still an insecurity inside of your head that you are concerned about what people are thinking, because people are going to be watching your videos. That's all that is. That's it. It's just something that once you can be doing it for years and you finally catch it, or you can just start doing videos now and get that first initial injected thought of anxiety or worry about other people's thoughts and sever it. Just sever it. It doesn't matter. What does it matter? When people think whatever, let them think. Let people think whatever it is that they think, and you think the way that you do. Let go of the thoughts of caring about what people's thoughts are, because it's just you talking to yourself. Even though people are watching and listening, but they have eyes to hear. Ears to see. And that's who you're talking to anyway. And whatever they want to think is what they're going to think. They're the ones surveilling you. You're not supposed to know that. But when you do know it, and they know that you know it, well, Just keep talking then. So that's basically the AI device. There's times when I push it and I tend to feel that way about, I'm used to talking, so I need to continually talk. There's no stopping. But what if I don't have anything to say? Well, then I'm just going to be wasting your time. You're the one pushed the play button on my video. And then I'll think of something afterwards. But normally I won't push the record button and just not say anything. There's usually something going on because we all think nonstop, all day long, every day, everybody. Even if you're brain dead, your brain doesn't stop thinking. You just can't articulate the words out of your mouth. So to think that you have a problem because you can't stop thinking, or you have a whirlwind of thoughts inside your head, that's normal. But once you can accept that that's normal, then you can channel your thoughts into a better direction where you can hop on a wavelength of something that feels good, knowing the positive direction that you're going. And that's pretty much what you hop on all day long. And you run with it. For me, knowing the communication with the ends of the earth is something in itself enjoyable to I don't know, is there a stop sign here? That's something that I use, and I hop on that wavelength and the day feels good. And even when the weather starts getting nicer, like right now it's kind of nice out, the thought of just moving to Florida, it feels good. I mean, I don't know exactly how I'm going to get there and do it, but whether it's this year or next year, I'm trying to make it this year. If I can, I can't. I don't have the money to do it, and that's what the problem is. It's always about money and time. Don't have any money. Don't have it. I have money, but with the money I make goes strictly for bills and basically nothing else. And that's getting old. But I know that that's going to change. So that's the wavelength that I'm riding. It's a wavelength of faith and the things I've said, and they're going to come true. And the best part about when it comes true is that I said it would come true before with zero evidence whatsoever. No proof. Nobody promised nothing, anything at all. And then it's going to happen. Because what's going to happen is there's two systems. One of them is about money. The other God is 50% cryptocurrency. Because the currency